Alright, so forecasting. So kita tengok sini, many business data are measured with respect to time, right? So maksudnya dia setiap data yang dia ada dalam transaction sales dia tu, dia semua dia akan record lah based on time. So maybe in daily or maybe in minute, hours or quarter or month or years, right? So data yang kita simpan with respect to time, this is known as time series data lah. Time series data. Right. So sales, profit, and revenue of the company record for some years, month, and quarter are some example of time series data. So in time series data, time is taken as independent variable, and the value such as sales, profit, revenue, and so on is considered as dependent variable. So for now, I hope you already know the difference between independent variable and dependent variable. Sebab kita dah belajar dalam hypothesis testing, and then kita juga dah belajar dalam linear regression, right? Linear regression. So we already know how to differentiate the dependent and independent variable. So time dekat sini is noted as independent variable. And the value that we want to measure or we want to forecast is known as dependent variable. So time dekat sini dia kata can be taken as years, quarter, month, week or days lah. So the graphical display of time series data is known as time series plot lah. So in time series plot, we want to know, basically we want to know whether our performance, our sales, our revenue, profit is in increasing ataupun decreasing lah. Maksudnya dia tunjuk naik ataupun menurun. So kalau menurun maksudnya tak bagus lah. Kalau sales kita makin lama makin menurun, tak bagus lah. So sepatutnya sales kita akan data sales should shows uptrend lah. Kalau kita dapat dalam bentuk static macam tu, maksudnya kita tak ada apa-apa improvement. So we need to do some improvement lah. So maybe when we do forecasting, right, we want to do a forecast, dia tak akan tunjuk perubahan yang kita harap. Maybe kita akan berada dalam confidence interval yang sama. So these up and down time series data are mainly due to 4 components that made up time series data. So dalam time series data, dia ada 4 components. First component is called as trend. Second component called as seasonal variation, cyclical variation, right? And another one is irregular or random variation, right? So so this is a 4 component. Right, let me show you. Boleh tulis tak kat sini? Right. So kalau trend, right, kita akan nampak dia sama ada data tu menaik ataupun menurun lah. This one kita dah tengok dalam correlation and trend line regression kan, last topic, chapter number 5. Right, remember chapter number 6 kita tengok kan. So ini kita panggil trend lah. So sama ada trend dia menaik ataupun menurun. Right, so this is a time series data lah. This is X axis is our time, right? And Y axis is our sales lah, sales ataupun profit or revenue lah. This is a dependent variable. Right, so in trend kita boleh tengok sama ada kita punya sales naik ataupun turun, ataupun we have another one we call as a stationary. Stationary means that trend dia tak ada trend langsung, dia static. Right, kita punya sales ni naik turun dalam satu interval yang sama. This is what we call as stationary. Right, stationary. This is dependent variable. ataupun DV lah, DV, and this is our time, right? So this is dekat sini chart, this is A, B and C. Dekat C ni kita tak ada trend, right? So dia sales kita static dekat situ saja, right? Tapi walaupun dia static, dia tak tunjuk satu value yang sama. Dia mungkin value dia berubah-ubah, tapi dia tak tunjuk satu trend. Dia ini dinamakan stationary lah. And then maybe company you need to do some innovation untuk naikkan sales ataupun sebaliknya lah. Another one we have seasonal variation. Dalam seasonal variation, right? Selalunya dia dalam bentuk macam ni lah. Let's say, yup. So dia naik balik. Dia dalam bentuk macam ni. So dalam this is in 1 year. Ya, 1 tahun. Let's say this is 1 year. So this is first year. This is second year. Second year. Apa maksud seasonal variation? So during a seasonal event, so sales ni akan naik, right? So let's say this one raya, time cuti raya kan, raya puasa. So maybe aliran traffic, okay? Let's say kita tengok this is a traffic queue. So aliran trafik makin tinggi pada waktu raya. And then lepas waktu raya dia menurun. And then bila tiba waktu cuti sekolah, dia naik balik. Tapi still, benda yang sama dia akan berulang. Di second year, waktu raya juga dia akan berulang. So waktu raya dia akan naik, waktu cuti sekolah dia akan naik. Right? So benda yang sama dia akan berulang banyak kali dalam setiap tahun. Right, so ini dinamakan seasonal variation lah. Maksudnya dalam 1 tahun dia akan berulang benda yang sama. Right. Another one is we have a cyclical variation. Let's say cyclical variation bentuk yang sama juga. Right, maybe I tunjuk satu bentuk yang sama. But this one, let's say puncak dekat sini dengan puncak dekat sini, dia mungkin dia sama juga, event yang sama berulang, tapi dalam jangka masa yang panjang. Maybe this is year 1997, this is year 2007. In 10 years, benda yang sama akan berulang. Right? So kalau kita belajar time series data, so the history will repeat itself. Right? So kalau sama juga kalau you terlibat juga dalam stock market kan, you tengok trend dia kan, you ada terlibat dengan stock market, you mesti akan nampak moving average lah, dia akan nampak 5 moving average or 7 moving average or 21 moving average. And so kita akan tengok dia punya trend upward or downward, right? Bila kita tengok dalam trend tu, kita akan nampak benda yang sama akan berulang. Bila dia jatuh, dia akan naik balik. Right? So, itu adalah one of the concept dalam time series data lah. Right? And we have another one is what we call as irregular component. So, this is a cyclical, seasonal in variation. And this is a cyclical variation. So ini I think dalam buku ada tulis tak? Dalam buku ada, yes, dia ada cerita sikit dalam page number 128. Right? Tapi dia tak explain detail lah. Right? Another one is we have random variation, right? Ataupun irregular variation, right? Random variation or irregular variation. So let's say for example you have a stable trend kan, sales you menaik, right? Let's say for example one day you punya kedai terbakar, right? So you may sales down, ataupun let's say COVID, right? COVID pandemic, so you may sales down, and then you will start rebuild your punya sales, so makin naik balik, right? So this is what we call as a random variation ataupun irregular variation, right? Random variation. Right, so in this case, maybe something happened to your shop, to your business, kan? And then you start gaining balik you punya sales after that. Right, so ini dipanggil random variation. Ada lagi satu kita panggil yang kita tak tengok dalam four component ni. Dia ada satu lagi component we call as a random shock. Random shock. Random shock. Terkejut lah. So let's say for example you punya sales macam ni, tiba-tiba satu hari ada demonstration, right, depan you punya kedai. You terpaksa tutup you punya kedai, then the next day ataupun next month you sambung balik kedai you macam biasa. So this is what we call as random shock lah. Tiba-tiba sales you jatuh pada hari itu ataupun bulan itu disebabkan banjir ke ataupun disebabkan demonstration bersih 5.0 ke, right? We don't know, kan? So that is one of the component, kan? Okay, boleh faham the concept of variation ni. We have 4 variation, right? Boleh? Hey.
Boleh.
Alright. So next, okay, this is explanation in detail. Later on I akan bagi dekat you this slide. Right, let me save this one first lah. Nanti hilang dia punya slide tu. Right. So again kita tengok balik. Trend is a long-term movement in time series data. Right, it's a long-term movement in time series data. It describes the pattern of the movement of the time series data, either increase or decrease. Right, the trend can be linear or non-linear lah. Normally is in linear form lah. Sometimes dia tunjuk non-linear. Maybe we have inconsistent performance on our business, kan? Sometimes pekerja tu turnover tinggi, right? So you punya sales tu mungkin vary sikit lah, right? So some example of trend, an increasing number of HIV cases in Malaysia from year to years, an increasing number of road accidents deaths from year to year, a declining rate of baby death from year to year. So this is a long term movement. That's why kita nampak dekat sini dia very dia increase in a long term lah. Maybe 5 to 10 years, right? So another one we have seasonal variation is a short-term movement in time series data. Normally in 1 year lah, right? Fixed period in 1 year. So kata dekat sini benda yang sama tadi, I explain benda yang sama. So let's say for example, increasing sales of bus ticket during festive season. So during festive season, sales ticket naik, right? Bila festive season dah habis, tiket pun slow down sikit. Tapi still ada sales, but slow down sikit. So bila dia mula balik festive season, dia akan naik lagi. So increasing sales of school uniform during school holidays, right? Maksudnya dulu bulan 12, sekarang mungkin bulan 2, right? So sebab dia punya term school tu dah lain sikit, right? Increasing number of people in KLIA during Hajj season. Increasing number of traffic road from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Right? So lepas pukul 7 hingga pukul 9, okay, traffic agak sesak sikit. Lepas pukul 9 tu traffic okay, lancar. And bila waktu orang balik kerja 4:30 hingga 7, dia mungkin naik balik. Right? So then we have a cyclical variation. Is a long-term movement in time series data, but the same concept as a seasonal variation. In cyclical variation, it's a long-term movement that repeat over time period differing length, usually longer than 1 year lah. So example dia dekat sini, declining rate of share price due to economic recession, decreasing employment rate due to economic downturn, and increasing rate of retrenchment among factory workers due to economic recession. Right, so this is one of the example lah. So random or irregular variation, tadi ada tunjuk benda ni. So it's a movement that unpredictable, right? Unpredictable. Let's say for example you ada kebakaran ke, you punya stok habis terputus ke. Let's say you meniaga let's say apa yang stok terputus baru ni tak tahulah. And then dia meniaga satu benda and then dia tak boleh nak dapat supply that goods tu, and then dia punya stock tu terputus, right? So dia punya dia kena tukar dia punya perniagaan lain, then they start gaining the sales again and again lah. So example, a decreasing number of tourists flying to New York due to attack on World Trade Center on 11 September 2001. A loss of $1 million due to fires which caught the company last week, and so on. So this is an example. Right? Setakat ni boleh faham? Ada 4 komponen tu boleh faham? So I explain banyak pula dekat komponen.
Okay, doktor.
Boleh kan? So hari ni kita tengok satu teknik saja, right? Which is the famous technique, which is moving average, right? Moving average. Right. So dalam forecasting, kita selalunya akan tengok forecasting accuracy lah. Dia ada banyak method dalam forecasting, such as ARIMA, ARMA, moving average, seasonal variation, exponential seasonal variation, Hawk method lah, macam-macam. Ada banyak macam method. Kalau you terlibat dalam stock market kan, right, tengok pasal saham ke, forex ke, so you selalu akan jumpa juga benda-benda ni kan, dia akan pakai, right, because this one is to do a prediction on future, right? So it based on the time series data, we want to do a prediction whether we want to buy the stock or you want to sell the stock. Right? It based on simple measure is by using moving average lah. Very simple, and most people are using moving average as a measurement of the time series data. So the accuracy of forecast as it present the quality of the forecast lah. The accuracy is the forecast of the forecast is representing the quality of the forecast. If the accuracy is high, then the quality of forecast is very good, and we can trust the forecast technique. If the accuracy of the forecast technique is very low, then we should avoid to use that forecast technique. Right? So the effectiveness of the forecasting can be measured by comparing the forecast value and the actual value, right? So kita boleh dapat the effectiveness of the forecasting by measure the forecast value and the actual value, which called as forecast error lah. So later on kita akan tengok apa itu forecast error. Forecast error is the actual value minus forecast value, right? So actual value minus forecast value. So there are 3 common measures for forecast accuracy. You boleh tengok dalam page number 128. There are 3 common measures for forecast accuracy, which is mean absolute deviation, which is MAD, right? And another one is mean square error, which is MSE. Another one is MSE. Another one is mean absolute percentage error, MAPE. MAPE. Right. So this is a 3 forecast accuracy that can be used as indicator to indicate whether the forecast technique is good or not good, right? So the formula of forecast accuracy, page number 1 at 728, 7.3. So mean absolute deviation, we take the absolute value of the forecast error divided by number of observation lah, right? So actual value minus forecast value divided by number of observation. So this is what we call as mean absolute deviation. So for mean square error, right? So forecast value means the actual value minus actual forecast value, divide multiply with you square the value, then divide by number of observation. So this is the mean square error. And mean absolute percentage error, so we take the absolute of the forecast error divide by actual value and divide by the number of observation. So this is what we call as mean absolute percentage error. So how to know whether our tool is good or not? If this forecast accuracy show the lowest value, right, means that all of these are measuring error, right? So kita akan tengok error dekat sini, mean absolute deviation. Kalau deviation tu kecil, lagi bagus. Mean square error lagi kecil, mean square error lagi bagus. Mean absolute percentage error lagi kecil, percentage error tu lagi bagus, right? So kalau percentage error dia besar, maksudnya the tool is not very good lah. It's not perform well. Right, boleh faham? So kita akan tengok satu method saja hari ini. Right, which is moving average method. Right, moving average method. So you boleh tengok dalam uFuture, I dah upload the dataset. Dah download the dataset. Week number 14.
Dah.
Dah, eh? Right, good. So download the dataset. Kat sini pressure cooker sales. Right, so pressure cooker sales. Kita tengok dekat sini the explanation of the moving average first. So moving average model, basically a moving average consists of series of average where each average is the mean value of the time series over fixed interval of time. Using this method, the trend obtained will be non-linear trend lah. So sometimes yang last topic, chapter number 6, we are looking into linear trend kan. So linear trend in time series data is hardly to occur lah. Maksudnya jarang sekali kita akan dapat linear trend, right? Kecuali our sales is consistently in good performance, right? And then kita akan dapat linear trend lah. But when we have a competitor, right? Number of competitor is rising, right? So normally kita tak akan dapat linear trend lah, unless we are monopoly this industry. So then maybe kita akan dapat linear trend. So kita kena tengok situation jugalah. Selalunya kita tak akan dapat linear trend. So moving average ni apa maksudnya? Dia akan averagekan let's say kita buka kedai 5 hari seminggu, right? Isnin to Friday. So kita nak tengok performance dalam masa 5 hari. Right? Sama ada dalam 5 hari ni average dia berapa? Right? So daripada average yang kita dapat tu, kita nak tengok, kita akan jadikan dia sebagai benchmark untuk next 5 days. So kita nak tahu sama ada next 5 days ni our sales should be more than average based on last week average lah. Kalau kita punya sales kurang daripada last week punya average, means that our performance for that next week tu tak bagus lah. Boleh faham tak apa yang cakap? So this is the same concept kita pakai dalam stock market. Right, let's say I tunjuk satu lah. Ni nak tengok stock apa. Contoh kan, I bawa lah satu contoh kecil punya. Alright, okay. This is a candlestick kan. So kalau kita tengok dekat sini, let's say kita tahu dalam satu minggu ada 5 hari stock market ada kan. So kita tengok dekat sini, let's say I hide volume as well. Okay, volume okay lah. Right, so price volume analysis. Right, so I ambil 5 moving average. Kalau boleh nampak dekat sini, I ambil 5 moving average. Maksudnya 5 ni maksudnya 5 hari. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So dalam 5 hari ni dia akan average kan dalam 5 hari ni. So dia akan dapat this the line ya. Dia nampak the line ni. So this is what we call moving average lah. Right? Moving average. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So dalam 5 hari ni dia akan ambil the close 5 hari punya close value. Close dekat sini, close sini. This is close, close. So dalam 5 hari ni dia akan ambil average. So this is the average kat bawah ni. So dekat bawah ni kita tahu pada hari yang terakhir ni 15 hari bulan. So the price is close or above average. Above 5 days average. So the next day kita boleh expect price pun akan increase jugalah, right? So ini one of the technique lah. This is what we call as moving average. So selagi dia ada berada di bawah pada price, current price, which is this is very good performance. Kalau dia ada dekat atas, contoh macam ni, right? So this is a downtrend, right? So jangan beli, maksudnya kena jual lah, right? Macam tu, right? Okay. So, tapi kita tak tengok stock market punya example. We are looking into Elk's pressure cooker sales. So, we want to apply 3 and 5 moving average forecast technique to forecast the sales for month 25. Right? We want to forecast for month 25. Right? So, boleh buka you punya Excel. Right? So, we have unit sold. This is a sales from month 1 until 24, right? So we have, this is a sales for month 1 until month 24, right? So now, let's try to plot this data set, right? So kita pergi ke linear line, right? So kita letak dekat sini. So this is the sales. Kita tak nak unit sold dekat sini, right? Buang. So sales dekat sini, kita nampak dekat sini dia tak menunjukkan trend menaik ataupun menurun. Dia menunjukkan trend yang stationary. Maksudnya sales dia on average saja, right? Di antara 120 maybe 120 until 125. So kita tengok this one. Minimum is 100, right? Okay, right. Sales dia di antara 135 lah, 135 until 190 or 200 lah. 130 to 200. So dia tak ada menunjukkan trend yang menaik ataupun menurun. So from here we want to do a forecasting. Right, tapi kalau nak buat forecasting pun maybe dia akan berada di antara ni je lah, antara 130 until 200 saja. Dia tak akan tunjukkan forecasting dia tak akan tunjuk lebih ataupun kurang daripada nilai yang kita tengok tadi tu. Right. So now to do a forecasting, let's say we want to do 3 moving average. 3 moving average. Right? So if you want to do a 3 moving average, right? So first what we need to do is, you dah install kan data analysis? Ada install tak?
Ada.
Right? So kita pergi ke data analysis, right? By default, bila kita tekan tu dia akan keluar this drop down menu lah, this list menu, right? Kita akan pilih moving average dekat sini. Moving average. So kita tekan moving average and klik OK. And then kita nampak dekat sini input range, right? Kita select input range, tekan dekat sini input range. And kita akan pilih from unit sold until 24. Unit sold ni daripada label yang kita ambil ni sampai 24 lah. Kalau tak nak ambil label pun tak apa, tak kisah. Tapi you just follow mine. Kita ambil daripada label, right? And then kita klik label in first row. Right? Kalau kita tak ambil daripada label, just don't click label in first row lah. Right? Sebab kita nak indicate this is the label for value yang kita input. So interval dekat sini, since kita nak buat 3 moving average, maksudnya kita nak measure the average for each 3 month. Right? Lepas 3 bulan kita nak tahu berapa average dah. 3 bulan berapa average dah. 3 bulan berapa average dah. Sehingga month ke 24. Boleh?
Boleh, Doktor.
Right. So kita ambil 3 moving average dulu lah. And then dekat bawah ni dia ada output range. Output range, kita tekan output range, kita letak dekat sini, the first one. Kita nak dia letak dekat sini. So apa akan jadi dekat sini? Dekat sini dia akan jadi kosong, kosong dan baru start value. Right? Boleh? So dekat sini. And then
Yes, following.
Klik OK. Right. So dia akan bagi no value, baru akan start value. Apa yang jadi dekat sini? Let's say let me letak dekat tengah-tengah so kita nampak cantik sikit. And then oops. Right. So apa yang jadi dekat sini? The first one dia akan ambil 3 value dan dia akan average kan. And then for the next row ni, row number 7 ni, kita klik, dia akan ambil 3 juga. Selepas daripada first 3 month tu. Second month, third month and fourth month. Dia ambil 3 month ni, dia akan average. Sama je, dia akan menurun lah. Kalau you boleh tengok, dia akan menurun. Dan still dia akan ambil 3 average. Boleh? Boleh? So next, since kita nak tengok sama ada kita nak menggunakan 3 moving average or 5 moving average, which one is good, right? So kita kena tengok balik page number 128, which is measure of forecast accuracy. So dalam measure of forecast accuracy, dia kata dekat sini, we need to have a forecast error. Forecast error. Right? Forecast error. Forecast error maksudnya apa? Boleh tak baca balik dalam dekat sini. Let me show you this one, right? Forecast error is the absolute of actual value minus forecast value. So this is the forecast value. This is actual value. So let's try to draw this graph dulu before we right. So kalau kita nampak dekat sini, right? So kita boleh letak lah. This is the, you tahu kan nak buat chart macam mana? 3 moving average. Sebab I tengok dalam report you are doing very good job. Right, so dekat sini adalah sales, unit sales, and this is the time from month number 1 until month 24. So dekat sini adalah moving average. So kalau kita tengok dekat sini, konsep yang sama tadi saya cakap, right? Dia sama je konsep. Kalau line ni, line warna orange ni adalah moving average, 3 moving average. Kalau line warna orange ni berada di atas, maksudnya sales performance kita tak bagus. Kalau line orange ni berada di bawah, right? Maksudnya sales performance kita bagus, makin menaik. And then nampak tak? Konsep yang sama tadi saya bawa dalam trading platform, right? Kalau sales moving average dekat bawah, maksudnya performance kita bagus. Sales moving average dekat atas, performance dia tak bagus. Maksudnya, apa yang dia nak bagi tahu dekat sini, dalam masa 3 bulan, ini adalah sales average. Masa 3 bulan, 1, 2, 3, sales average. So, dekat sini, average kita dekat sini ada dekat atas. Maksudnya performance kita sekarang tak bagus. So dalam masa 3 bulan yang kebelakang, sales kita, average kita dekat sini. So now our performance is above average. Maksudnya above average tu bagus lah. Right? Itu dia punya ni lah. So kalau kita tengok dekat sini, this is dekat month 24 ni, nampaknya average kita berada di bawah dan performance kita above average. Above average maksudnya kita are doing good job lah dekat sini, month 24. And it expected to be a good job juga dalam month 25. Right? Kita boleh expect dalam month 25 ni yang akan datang, so kita akan membuat sales yang tinggi jugalah berbanding dengan 3 month average. Right? So ini adalah moving average lah. Okay, saya letak kat bawah. Okay. Now, kita nak tengok forecast error. So, we want to, nanti kita akan tengok, kita nak compare 3 moving average, 3 month moving average and 5 month moving average. So, yang mana satu kita nak pakai untuk buat forecasting? Kita tak tahu lagi. Kita just buat dulu. Right? Let's say kita buat nombor 5 lah. 5 month moving average. Right? So, ataupun 5 moving average lah. Right? So, kita pergi ke data analysis. Right? And then click on moving average. Click OK. Right? Benda yang sama. Kita select unit sold sampai month 24. Right? And then label for in the first row. Sebab kita select tadi in the first one kan. Interval now, instead of taking 3 moving average, kita ambil 5 moving average. And output range kita letak dekat sini. Dekat 5 moving average ni lah. So then click OK. So kalau kita tengok dekat sini, 1, 2, 3, 4. Dekat sini baru ada lah. Right? Nampak tak? So I letak dekat tengah-tengah. You boleh follow Can you follow? Boleh? So apa jadi kat sini? Ya.
InsyaAllah.
Right.
Boleh doktor.
Boleh.
Tengah buat sama-sama.
Kita buat sama-sama lah, tengok macam mana kan. Right. So apa yang jadi kat sini benda yang sama juga, konsep dengan 3 moving average. So dia akan ambil 5 value, dia akan average kan. So dia akan, yang nombor 2 pun sama juga, dia akan ambil 5 value, dia akan average. Right. So kita akan kehilangan 4 kolom dekat atas ni lah. So dekat sini, let's say I try to make a graph. Ya. So kita akan dapat macam ni lah. Right. This is 5 month moving average. Right. So kalau kita tengok dekat sini, dalam masa 5 bulan, dia dekat hujung ni dia sama. Dia punya our sales are same as 5 month moving average. So maksudnya, kalau kita tengok dekat sini, nampak besar kan? Kalau dia macam bersilang dia nak naik atas, maksudnya in prediction, in the next month, maybe our sales will increase. Dia nampak macam bersilang kan? Dia touch. Right. So daripada atas ni, maksudnya dekat sini, average dia dekat atas. Maksudnya the performance of month 17, 18, 19, 20 is not very good. Right? Nampak tak? Kalau dia bersilang macam ni, dia macam mana nak naik atas. Right? So, in prediction lah. Ini cara tengok by chart only. Right? So, kita tengok. So, kita nak tahu which one. 5 month kita nak pakai 3 month moving average ke? Ataupun 5 month moving average. Which method we want to use. So, to decide which method to use, we need to calculate forecast error. Right? Forecast error. So, forecast error based on our page number 128 tu, 7.3, dia kata absolute of actual minus forecast value. So, kita ambil absolute ABS ABS stands for absolute lah. Kalau kita tengok dekat sini, klik tu, kita tengok dia punya help file. ABS is describe formula syntax using ABF function. So it return absolute value of the number. The absolute value of a number is the number without its sign. Maksudnya tanpa negatif ataupun positive value lah. Right, so dia kata actual minus forecast value. So actual minus forecast value. Dan tutup kurungan. Dan kita takkan dapat apa-apa dekat sini lah. Because there are no value here. And we double click here. Dan kita akan dapat. Kita bagi dia. Right. So sini dia akan bagi. Ni lah kita tak nak lah. Right. So this is the forecast error. Sama juga. This is the forecast error for 3 moving average. 3MA. This is the forecast error for 5MA. Right. So sama juga. ABS. Actual value minus 5 moving average. Boleh? Right. So I nak 2 decimal point. So, okay. And the last one I don't want. So this is the forecast error. Okay, boleh?
Boleh. Dapat.
Alright. So next, kita nak tengok which method is good, right? So we need to measure forecast accuracy. Mean absolute deviation, mean square error, and mean absolute percentage error. So kita letak dekat sini MAD, MSC, MSE, and MAPE. Right, and then kita letak kat sini 3 moving average and 5 moving average. Kita nak tengok lah antara dua method ni which one is good. Then you also can compare 4 moving average, 5 moving average or 7 moving average as well lah. So ini contoh yang saya letak saja. Right. Right. So dekat sini kita tengok the formula. For a mean absolute deviation, right? Dia kata kat sini absolute of moving average, forecast error, right? The summation of forecast error. Forecast error is actually the absolute value lah, right? The absolute value. Divide by number of observation, right? Number of observation is number of observation of the forecast error lah, right? So it should be sum of the forecast error dekat sini, from here to here. Jangan select yang NA tu right. Sekejap I kecilkan sikit. Okay. So sum of the forecast error dekat sini divide by our number of observation, right? Count of this one until this one. So we will get 8.2. Right. So kalau kita tengok dalam buku muka surat berapa, sekejap. Dalam buku tak tulis Dalam buku ni dia kalau kita tengok dekat sini dia salah letak tau. Dia letak dekat row number 7. Maksudnya means it's not right lah. Salah dalam buku ni muka surat 131 tu yang figure 7.4 is a wrong calculation. Kena begitu Dr. Chua. Dr. Chua salah buat ni. Right, 4 moving average also wrong. Dia ada calculate MSE tak? Oh, dia calculate kat bawah. Okay, MAD, MSE dia calculate kat bawah. Right, tapi kita calculate kat atas ni. So now kita dapat satu value 8.2. So we can do the same thing for 5 moving average. So kita ambil the forecast error sampai bawah ni, divide by count this value juga. Right, boleh dapat the formula dapat Dapat formula. So kalau kita tengok dekat MAD, mean absolute deviation, 5 moving average is MAD for my 5 moving average is 10.87. MAD for 3 moving average is 3.2. So dekat MAD ni saja kita boleh tahu the 3 moving average is giving an accurate result compared to 5 moving average. Right, kalau kita compare dengan 3 moving average graph ni, kita nampak dia lebih precise kat sini. Kita boleh nampak dia punya the trend, the moving average ada dekat bawah. So dekat atas adalah our actual value. This is a very good indicator to give indicator for forecasting lah, forecast next month. Kalau dekat sini dia bersilang. So kita tak nampak in clear cut whether to do a decision sama ada sales kita akan naik ataupun menurun. And then we look at the MSC. MSC we just take the square kan. Right, kita nampak dekat sini the forecast value square. Right, the forecast value square sebenarnya sama sum. I think we need to do double bracket here because we want to do a square procedure. So kita ambil this one until this one, and then square maksudnya kita akan letak -2, right? And then we close the bracket. This is done for summation, dah habis, right? And then divide by count, benda yang sama juga, select all, and then dapat tak? This is the formula. Dapat kan? Ada yang tak dapat? Can you respond?
Dapat.
So MSC we have 99.06. Kita ambil yang kecil sikit lah, 2 decimal point cukup. And then for 5 moving average, benda yang sama lah, sum. Kita ambil forecast. Kuasa 2, tutup, count. This value. So So 179. Sama juga untuk MSE. MSE, 3 moving average shows the lower value compared to 5 moving average. So 3 moving average is very good to do a prediction. Let's look at mean absolute percentage error. Mean absolute percentage error is the forecast error divided by actual value, right? And then divide by the number of observation, right? So cara nak buat dia, sum forecast error, right? Tutup kurungan, but this one we need to have a double bracket here. Kalau kita nampak, this is divide by actual value, which is from here to here, right? And divide by count. Count mana-mana pun boleh lah, this one, okay. So we will get 0.05. Benda yang sama. So kalau kita tengok dekat 5 moving average, benda yang sama juga. Error divide by, so this one dekat sini sampai sini, right? So count, and let's say kita ambil this one. So kita akan dapat 0.06. So it lead the same decision jugalah. Kalau kita tengok dekat sini, okay, 5 moving average is larger, giving a larger error compared to 3 moving average. So 3 moving average can be said as a good indicator to do a forecasting lah. Okay. Boleh? Ada soalan tak?
Tak dapat dah doktor yang
Okay, let me
8.20 tu.
8.20.
Count.
Okay, I letak macam ni. Okay, nampak tak?
Oh.
Dekat sini 3 moving average is better compared to 5 moving average, right? So we're going to use 3 moving average chart to do some forecast, right? So kita boleh tengok dekat sini, dekat hujung ni kita boleh tengok dia punya trend dekat sini ya. Kalau moving average warna oranye ni berada di atas, maksudnya the actual sales will be going down. Nampak tak? Mana yang pen? Nampak tak kat sini? Kalau sales dekat moving average dekat atas, the value of our forecast is bawah dekat sini. Mesti dekat bawah. Dia akan turun. Nampak tak? Bila dia bersilang dekat sini, right? Maksudnya moving average dekat sini dia bersilang, so maksudnya dia dah turun, dia punya actual value dekat bawah, so dia akan jadi downtrend. The forecast will be downwards lah, dia akan jatuh. Bila the moving average and the actual value bersilang balik, Right? So kita akan expect the sales will be upward. Dia akan upward. Dia akan naik. Nampak tak? The logic here. The pattern here yang dia bagi. And then kalau kita tengok dekat sini, dia dah bersilang dekat sini, right? So maksudnya the actual value berada dekat atas daripada the moving average, the average, kan? So what we expect untuk month 25 is the actual will be upward lah. So sales maybe mungkin akan the average maybe dia akan ikut macam ni. Macam tu. So this is the forecast technique that we're going to use lah. So basically kalau you pergi ke kelas-kelas saham kan, yang bayar beribu-ribu tu, dia akan ajar benda-benda basic macam ni juga. So kita dah belajar dalam kelas, this is the basic. Dan kalau you tengok kelas-kelas yang dekat luar tu kan, yang beribu-ribu tu kan, lebih kurang dia akan ajar benda yang sama, right? Dia akan ajar benda yang sama. Dia akan ajar benda moving average. Even though dia tukar matematik yang lain, so sama juga dia akan menggunakan average. Dia akan menggunakan moving average. RSI lah, dia nak guna Ichimoku cloud lah, right? Semua tu menggunakan average, right? So the point is which average is good, right? Whether 3 moving average or 5 moving average or 7 or 21 or 50, right? So we need to measure the error first. Which method give the lowest error, then we're going to use that method, right? There's a simple concept yang diguna dalam trading platform, either in stock market or forex. Okay, we belajar benda baru hari ni. I think it help you a lot, right? And then kalau you about forecast, then I think you should be able to do forecasting, right? Ada soalan tak setakat ni? Hello? Ada soalan tak? So if you don't have question, ya. Ada soalan tak? Kalau tak ada soalan, I think